Now, be honest. Recognition, that's what gets your foot in the door. And curiosity, that's what keeps people standing, keeps them coming back for more. That's what keeps them deaf. On today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to let you all know the difference between the two and how you can achieve both and get the most success for your brand in real time here on today's episode of the podcast, Designing Last. My best bet, pizza serve. My best bet, pizza serve.
Best that I can do. Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Designing last. Designing in your face. Designing last. Designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but there's just one thing I know for sure. Welcome back to another episode of Designing Labs. That's right. Today we're kicking it off with an exclusive challenge that's dedicated to recognition versus curiosity. Really, recognition is a key factor into the music that gets played today versus the curiosity that makes you want to keep coming back to play the music that you play. That's what people don't talk about enough when it comes to music in general, and when it comes to the design of the imagery that continues to evoke the emotion and tell the story of whatever the artist is conveying. And that's the lost art that people don't really break down. We're going to do that here on today's episode of the podcast in real time with you. So that means on today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to right now at this time give you all the floor to be able to not only just, have a say-so in today's episode, but this is going to be your chance to be able to show in real time exactly the proof is in the pudding. The recognition of whatever art you're working on, we want to see that. The curiosity of whatever work you're working on, we want to see that. So at this time, go ahead and email us at informdeft, and we're going to take the time to be able to look at whatever you have that you deem recognizable as opposed to curiosity. We're going to break it down, and I'll share it on the next drop on Patreon exclusively so that you can get the most value for your brand in real time, so you can no longer have to worry about guessing of why my music's not getting played, or what I need to do to be able to keep customers or keep the fans, or however you like to categorize the audience, coming back. Because that's what you all want, isn't it? I know I do. Like, I know I need returning customers or returning clients just as importantly as I need air, water, and so many other things in life that keeps not only me as a person, motivated and keeps the business running, but also just in general, it just keeps me grounded to be the best artist that possibly can be. So that with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and pivot into giving you a real example of what recognition looks like compared to curiosity, using, once again, my own artwork to show proof is in the pudding, in real time using you real examples of real work that is out there that can be not only seen, that can be heard, that can be felt, and it's tangible. So, with that being said, I'm just going to say, taking a look at Exhibit A, which we have here, sketch. Now, yes, I'm pretty sure you all by now have at least heard of it or seen the cover. If you haven't, here it is for you to take a chance, take a moment, and just really understand what's really going on here. Now, what's so recognizable about this imagery on the out cover art for the EP sketch is not just the color or the layout itself, it's the combination of the subject matter, the tint, and the overall process that went into creating this project. It's all literally right there in your face. And you realize that right away because of how clear the intent is with the soldier focus, discipline. It embodies what the project intent was. Getting off them reps. There's a bigger project coming right behind it. And man, sketch is a complete project, but at the same time, it's supposed to make you feel and think that this is just the beginning, because this is a sketch. You know what I'm saying? These are ideas that we're getting out there. So, with that being said, that's what makes this recognizable. That's what instantly makes this so uh, approachable as opposed to it being off-putting. Compared now to the single Mind Blown. The cover art for that, a totally different opposite direction. Curiosity. The imagery in there is cover art for this, as you see, is not so easily defined. It's abstract. It definitely takes some time to really understand what's going on. And it makes you want to figure that out as opposed to it already being told to you. And that's the difference between curiosity and recognition, because if there's all explained to you and you know everything already, there's nothing for you to continue to watch or keep listening to. You already have everything you need to know. You're just gonna scroll on past or glance and look away. We don't want that. Neither does you. I know your next project, whether you're a rapper or singer or magician or just someone who is passionate about music, from whatever aspect that you are part of the process in, you will definitely want to know about how you can take your project from one level to another level. And the curiosity is what it really does take that to the next level. Because as you all know, like the curiosity is, like I said, what brings you back to want to keep finding out more, as opposed to it being like, I have everything I need to know. There's nothing else to see here. And that's important to recognize because yes, you can have both those things at the same time. And that's the difference between just another, visually striking uh piece of photography or illustration or whatever it may be to try to convey the idea, that's the difference. It really is. And that's what bridges the gap and the connection between the audience and the artist itself because it allows them to be able to see the artist from a perspective from a distance that they can be able to relate to and see themselves in, and that's usually what happens with the best artists when it comes to, leaving you with something left unanswered. You can't have all the answers at the same time. We definitely do the best that we can to be able to put you in the position so that you can make the right decisions and work with an artist or a design studio that really is who they say they are, is passionate about what they do, and most importantly, they care about the bottom line of the project at hand. It's not about their image or their idea. It's about the project. And that's what makes our relationship here at Designing Labs with Deft so unique. It makes you Deft. It makes anybody associated with this content Deft automatically. And hell, thank God I'm deaf, man. Because, man, it is rough out there for artists, designers, creatives in general. And more people need to know the difference between recognition and curiosity. What gets them from point A to point B, and what keeps the loop going? What keeps it fresh? What keeps it building? You don't ever want to lose momentum, and that curiosity is what definitely drives the momentum from taking you from just another artist or another musician and takes you to a whole another a level of professional. I I can't say it no better way. And I think that is a great point to be able to end today's episode of the podcast on because as a professional, you need to know when to quit and when to say more or when to step back. So let's step back and just say this. If you're deaf, like I know you are, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share this with anyone who can be able to gain not only some value out of understanding the difference between recognition and curiosity, but someone who is just curious of how they relate in this world, a deaf world still to come. If that's you, let us know, man. You know what I'm saying? Mind blown, streaming now on all platforms. Matter of fact, this yes EP is complete and out on all streaming platforms. So go ahead and stream that now. If you haven't already watched Sketchy Success, uh, it's still available. And where it's going to go from here is a curiosity that you're going to have to look forward to seeing and hearing more about in the future. But as far as right now, I'm just going to close off by saying, hey, stay creative, stay stay engaged because that's death, and you're death just by being here with me. Until next time, I'm Dev Dog Devin, here with Def at Designing Labs. Peace. Sketchy success. He panicked, by the way. Why did he panic? You gotta watch the episode to see. Link not in the bio, not in the comments. On YouTube at Devin's Death. And join our Patreon. We have all kind of new exclusive content coming out weekly. Hell, it might start coming out daily, but you won't tell the difference unless you are there. So, hey, join us and let's have some fun at Patreon at Devin's Death.